Welcome to Detroit. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass. You can drown them. And that's what we gotta be. That's who we have to be. Because that's our domain. That is our domain. Because we'll tread water as long as it takes to fucking bury you.
Takes the snap, turns, gives to Montgomery, right side, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions! Yes.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, Detroit Lions friends, fans, and family members. Welcome on back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike, and as always, we're diving on in. So, folks, obviously, we just saw the observation report from Tim Twentyman, and I got to tell you something. The observation that was clearly conveyed and put out was that the defense had a really, really good day at the first scrimmage, leading up to the game against the Chargers here on Thursday. And you know what? That's absolutely great. That's just great news. Just hearing that, hey, you know what? The defense had a really, really good day against our top offense, because it's like, hey, you know what? You want to hear that. You want to hear how one day the offense gets the better of the defense, and the other day it's vice versa. That's what you want to hear. And I loved the fact that I was hearing all different types of names that were making plays, whether it was Brian Branch, whether it was Jack Campbell, whether it was Pat O'Connor, whether it was Ukwu. I mean, everybody was making plays. Everybody was standing out. Everybody was having themselves a really, really good day on the defense. Like, the defense really had themselves a day. But as Tim Twentyman put in his observations, there was one player that stood out above the rest. One player that just absolutely dominated that scrimmage from start to finish. And that was Aidan Hutchinson. Now, normally, the fact that Aiden Hutchinson dominates is not something that, is going to get a lot of attention, or normally it shouldn't get a whole hell of a lot of attention. But, again, this entire offseason, there have been a lot of Lions fans, there have been a lot of outside fans, there have been a lot of analysts that have had this viewpoint, this doubt that Hutch is simply not going to be the same type of player that he was after he broke both his tibia and his fibula. And to me, it's like, the first time we actually got to see some footage of, how Aiden Hutchinson was performing against Penei Sewell, and again, I'll put that back up just so that you guys can see it. But you would think that just watching that clip of Aiden Hutchinson absolutely getting the better of Penei Sewell, you would think that would have calmed the doubters. You would have thought that that would have quieted them, that would have gotten them back on, the train, back on the wagon of, okay, you know what? Hutch is still a top prospect. He is still a top player. He is still going to dominate people. But yet, every time I turn around and there's some conversation about, Penei Sewell, or sorry, not Penei Sewell, about Aiden Hutchinson, there always seems to be like this, yeah, man, it was really great to see him out there doing this. It was really great to see him out there doing that. It's good to see this, that, and the other thing. And it always feels like that underneath all that, there's this element of surprise. Like, people are surprised that he is playing and that he is performing as well as he is, returning from the injury. And to me, I've never understood that. I've never understood why people have such surprise, have such, shock at the fact that he is performing so well. I've talked about it all throughout the offseason. I'm like, listen, dude. And I'm like, hey, if you honestly think that Aiden Hutchinson is not going to come back with a vengeance, if you honestly think that Aiden Hutchinson is not going to return as the same player or an even better player, you'd be destined for a loony bin. Because it's like, listen, we've seen Aiden Hutchinson already go through this before. Back when he was at Michigan, everybody knows the story. He fractured his ankle, was done for the year, and then the very next year he comes out and he's the best edge rusher in all of college football that year. Absolutely just dominates people, coming back from a very egregious, very, difficult injury in that fractured ankle. So it's like, okay, he's already done it once before. What would make you think that somehow he wouldn't be able to do it again? It's still the same concept of injury. It was still broken bone. In this case, bones, but still broken bones. It's not torn ligaments, tendons, muscles, whatever have you. It's bones. those can easily repair, and they're stronger than when they were, originally broken. And to me, it's like, whenever I hear people have like this viewpoint, like, oh, it's so great that, that Hutch is doing so well, that Hutch has been able to do this, I'm not at all surprised about it. I'm not one damn bit surprised at how Hutchinson is performing. Not one damn bit. Because I knew this was exactly what the kind of player we were going to get when he came back. Because that's Hutch's mindset. That is Hutch's persona. He's not going to let an injury derail or somehow devalue what he can do on the field. If anything, he's going to use that to get himself better. And when you take a look at Tim Twentyman's observations, it is clearly plain to see Hutchinson is a much, much better player than what he was the previous year. Because if you take a look at those observations, Tim Twentyman is pretty much putting it out there. Hutch was all over the offense as far as getting into the backfield, pressuring the quarterback, making plays in the backfield, sacking the quarterback. And again, we have to understand that what a sack means in terms of training camp, that doesn't necessarily mean that he actually sacked Jared Goff or whoever the quarterback was at the time. It means that, hey, you know what? If it had been a live play and it had been in the regular season, it would have resulted in a sack. And he's over here saying that, Hutch would have had 3 or 4 different sacks throughout that scrimmage. Dude, I remember when I had this conversation, I don't know if it was a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago, but I was like, dude, if Hutch would have played that entire season, I have no doubt in my mind he could have gotten to like 20-plus sacks. That was how good he was playing then. And the fact when you take a look at Tim Twentyman's observations and you read what's being said, I have no doubt in my mind that he can get 20 sacks this year. That's how damn good, that is how prolific he is playing, he is performing in these practices and in the scrimmages. And again, he's doing this going up against Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell is one of the best tackles in the business. Not just one of the best right tackles, he's one of the best tackles. Guy can play left or right tackle with, absolutely exceeding, performance. And if he's doing that coming back from his injury, that everybody wanted to think that, I don't think this guy is going to be able to come back the same way that he used to be. It's like, if he's doing that against Penei Sewell, what in the hell do you think he's going to do when he starts actually performing against other tackles that are of a lesser quality? Like, seriously, what do you think's going to happen? Penei Sewell is easily like a top 3 tackle in the league, right or left. His ability to play both puts him in that category, and the ability that he plays it at being such a top level further puts him in that category. But the fact that Hutchinson has come back and is even a better player than what he was, because Brad Holmes has said it, Dan Campbell has said it, Kelvin Shepard has said it, the players themselves have notated it, I've been saying it for months. Hutch is going to come back, and he is going to be an even better version than what he was the year prior before the injury. And again, when I take a look at Hutchinson, this guy's just a damn animal. He is a monster. Because again, most people do not come back from broken, tibias and fibulas the way that he has come back. Most of the time, that is just like, hey, you know what? You're down for the count and it's going to take you a while. But Hutchinson attacked his rehab so vigorously, so dedicatedly, if that's even a word, but with such dedication that you can see the results of what that work was out on the field. And again, when he's making such an impact in practice against our offense, which again, our offense is one of the best, if not the best in the league, again, it just baffles me that there are so many people, even now, that continue to doubt him and act with, this surprise that somehow, he shouldn't be doing what he's doing. It's like, dude, if this was anybody else, I might have given you that. But go back to what, freaking Dan Campbell said last year when everybody kept asking him the question, if you guys get to the Super Bowl, do you think Aiden Hutchinson could get into being able to play with the Super Bowl? And he said, listen, he's the only guy I think that could actually have a shot of doing it. If there's anybody that could do it, it would be Hutch. And to me, it's like, that's the kind of player, that's the kind of individual that Hutchinson is. And you have to think about it also from the perspective of the entire team as well. The entire team is viewed with this doubt. It's viewed with this, kind of pessimism that, because this has changed, this is not the same, whatever the case might be, that somehow they're not going to be able to do as well as they should do this year. And the fact, that they've also got this really tough schedule and all this other nonsense, and it's just like, dude, if there's one thing that people should have learned about the Detroit Lions, about Dan Campbell, about the players, it's that the more you doubt them, the more you scrutinize them, the more you look down on them, the more you think they cannot do something, just means that that's more likely what they're going to do. Again, everybody wants to say, oh, you know what, they can't replicate a 15-2 season again. There's no way. Oh, there's no way the offense is going to be as good as it was last year. There's no way that the defense is going to be even close to what it was last year because they don't have Zadarius Smith. Hutchinson's coming back from injury, blah, 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 blah. I mean, we've heard it all before. And to me, the fact that this defense not only, like I said, had a really great day against the offense and has had a lot of great moments throughout the entirety of training camp thus far, especially ever since the pads came on, and the fact that Hutchinson, not only in terms of what we see in terms of highlights from camp, but in terms of reporting from camp, the fact that he is playing and this defense is playing with such, enthusiasm, such energy, tenacity, it's like, dude, this defense has a damn chip on its shoulder. It has a massive chip on its shoulder as an entire unit. And I'm pretty sure the offense is the exact same way. And to me, it's like, listen, that's the last thing you want as, the Detroit Lions is having a massive chip on their shoulder. You don't want that. You absolutely 100% don't want that. I would think that the media, if they wanted to find a way to beat the Lions, if analysts wanted to find a way to beat the Lions, if other teams wanted to find a way to beat the Lions, it wouldn't be by doubting them. It wouldn't be by putting them down. It wouldn't be by scrutinizing them. Because all that does is it further guarantees you're most likely going to get your ass kicked. And it's going to get kicked hard and repeatedly for, the entire time you're up against them. Because the more you doubt them, the more it fans the flame of fire that they have where it's like, okay, obviously you all have not learned the lesson yet. Obviously you all have not taken to heart that this is not the same old Lions. This is not the same group of players that you would have seen 4 or 5 years ago before Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes showed up. This is not the same group that was under Matt Patricia. This is not the same group that is under all those other coaches that were prior to Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes showing up. It's not even close. There is a different kind of mindset. There is a different attitude that is in this camp that says adversity, we take that squarely on the chin, we use it as fuel, and it will be our, freaking octane that is going to just make our engine run in overdrive. And when you take a look at what Hutchinson is doing, that is but one small sample, a rather large small sample, if you will, of what the entire Detroit Lions team is. It's like, listen, you can doubt us all you want. You're entitled to your opinions. But just know, those opinions, while we don't listen to them, we definitely hear them. And when we hear them, we remember them. And when we remember them, we're going to take it out on you. We are going to take it out on not only yourself, we're going to take it out on the teams that you support. We're going to make you look like the biggest bunch of fools that ever walked God's green earth. And to me, that's why I have such confidence about this year, because it's like, listen, everybody wants to say one thing or the other about the Lions, but it's like, dude, you just take a look at how Hutch is performing. You take a look at how Kirby Joseph's performing, Brian Branch is performing, Jack Campbell's performing, Jared Goff is performing, Jamo's performing, Amon-Ra St. Brown is performing. These guys are playing at a level that's even better, that's even higher than where they were last year. And that almost in and of itself is unbelievable to try and think about. Again, this is a team last year that despite all of the adversity, all of the challenges, all of the difficulties that they had to deal with, they were still a top 10 defense. They were the best offense in football. And they are even better than what they were last year. That's what makes that to me is the only surprise that you should realistically have, is that despite everything that has not gone their way, they're even better. Because it's like most teams, they fold up shop if something like what happened to the Lions happened last year. But this team, oh no. They have not folded up shop. If anything, they have dug those stakes in even further and like, this is our place. This is what we are going to call our home. The adversity, the challenges that you keep throwing at us, the skepticism, pessimism, whatever term you'd like, they use that and they are going to dig in hard. And then they're going to kick everybody's ass hard up and down the damn field. But anyway, folks, I really wanted to talk about this because I saw this while I was at work, and I was like, man, I'm telling you this right now, the monster that this Detroit Lions team is about to unleash, just based off of the type of animalistic performance that Hutchinson is putting out, dude, I'm telling you this right now, people are not ready for it. They are not ready for the viciousness, the tenacity that this team is going to just unleash on people. And it is going to be it's going to be a sight to behold. I'm telling you this right now. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I can tell you this, when I see it, I'm going to know it. But anyway, folks, I hope you all enjoyed the content. Hope you all are doing well. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you all for watching another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, I hope to gain your subscription if you've not subscribed before. But if you have subscribed or you just subscribed, I also hope, please, that as well, you will make sure to hit that bell notification icon so that you guys never miss any more content that I push out. Again, we're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. We're almost there, so let's keep it going. You guys have been an awesome group, and I'm so thankful to have all you loyal fans. Hope everyone has something in their life that makes them happy, makes them smile. God bless, my friends. And until the next time we meet, I'll see you all in the next episode.